from Iron Trap Garage. Today we're going to do a little quick little video on a car I just picked up out of New Jersey. This is a real barn find. This thing was sitting in a barn in northern New Jersey for quite some time. The family that I got it from, the old guy passed away. He was really into Model Ts, but he happened to have this early V8 car. It's a 35 Ford Slantback, which means that it does not have a trunk in the back built into the body. It's actually rounded, kind of similar to like a Victoria would be. And this car, only reason it survived is because it spent so much time in the barn and wasn't exposed to the weather. I wasn't really that serious about buying the car until I got to see it and saw how darn solid it was. Just all the originality on it, that it hasn't been messed with. The car is an original V8 car, obviously. The engine was pulled to rebuild it when the guy had it, and just basically pulled the engine out and never touched it again. So the engine and trans were pulled out. I got those with it, but they need to be gone through. It's an original Babbitt engine, so I'm going to probably put a later 24 stud, insert mains, all that, a little tiny bit more modern in the car. But just wanted to show you the car a little bit. We're going to walk around it and just show some of the details of what makes this thing so darn cool. So yeah, let's come around to the side. Alright, so the first thing on this car, if you guys know anything about 35s, the grills are really hard to find in nice condition. They're usually all rotted out at the bottom, and it's just not something that you can easily get. So this thing still has a lot of its original chrome on it. It has a little bit of surface rust where some of the chrome is starting to break down, but this is a really nice grill, and it hasn't really been hit. It has a couple little tweaked bars, but for one of these it's in pretty good shape. The other thing that I thought was remarkable is that the emblem in the front on the grill, it's like a die-cast emblem, and it's all there and not broken, which is really, I couldn't believe it with the shape this thing's in. Still, usually the emblems are broken. So I was really happy that the grill is so nice on this thing. So we'll open up the hood here. And you can see the car had the firewall here has been painted at some point. I'm not sure if it's the original color or not, because there's a lot of there's paint runs all over the place here. So I'm not sure if that's original paint or not. The rest of the car is pretty much a different color than this. And the other guy was tinkering with it a little bit, but the firewall is ridiculously solid. There's no crazy holes that have been drilled. Nothing silly has been done to this thing. It hasn't been modified or anything all these years, which is pretty crazy. And the frame's really in great shape. Still has its original front axle and cross-membered, all stuff that hasn't been hacked up. Original radiators basically in there, which is pretty cool. So we'll open up the doors, let you guys see the inside of this thing. Okay, so now into the inside of this thing. I was pretty psyched when I got to the car and saw that the original dash is in it and it isn't all cut up. 35, 36 have some really neat dashes in them. I think they're one of my favorite dashes from the early 30s, or I'm sorry, the 30s into the early 40s. The Ford make. It's just cool with the waterfall and everything, and how the ashtray on these actually flips around. It has a little V8 emblem on it, which is really cool. Original gauges are in it. I think it's got a little over 30,000 miles on it, which is believable with how solid this thing is. Probably the worst part of the car is the remains of this seat. That is all that's I got left of the seats. The family, I think, separated the seats or threw them away or something. We don't know where they're at. So this is all I got, and I'm going to try and locate some seats from a friend, but this one's pretty rough, but could be recovered. Next thing is the floor. Holy crap, this floor is just amazing how solid it is all over. Probably the worst part is there's a little pinhole here and a couple little stress fractures around where the seat mounts, which is pretty common. But otherwise, the rest of the floor is super solid. This is probably solid than a lot of the cars and trucks that people are driving around daily that are made in 90s and 2000s. just because it was preserved so nice. So if I'm going to keep this thing and actually start driving it around, all I'm probably going to do is fix a couple of the pinholes, rust-proof the floor, and then put a floor matting back on it and just enjoy it. I mean, this thing's only original once. Let's preserve the original floor and just keep it as is and keep letting it be complete and original. The other thing that's, I got two more things that are my favorite in this car, out of the stuff that really made me buy it. The roof insert. This still has the original fabric roof insert in it, which is really crazy. I mean, even with this sitting in a barn, it's pretty incredible that the mice didn't get to this and just tear the roof apart and take it away for their nests. And the roof insert, while the fabric is getting thin just due to time, it is all there. It has a couple little rips in it, but otherwise it's pretty complete. It still even has the original chicken wire up in the roof that kind of supports it, and the wood is all still there. So you could easily drive it as is, or you could put another fabric roof insert into it and you'd be pretty much ready to go. The floor in the back is equally as solid. Actually, it's probably more solid than the stuff up front here because it was hardly ever used, which is great. And the last thing, listen to how nice this door is when it shuts. It's really crazy. I mean, there's no sag in the doors. This thing could not have been driven very much before it was parked, which is really cool. So stuff like that makes me giddy when you close the door of an old car and it's that nice of a closing of a door. All right, now onto the back of the car. This is what makes this car, this body style kind of unique. Because it doesn't have a humpback in it, some of this body style had a humpback in it where the trunk was built in. This does not have a trunk. It has a little space behind the back seat, but there's really no storage area in this. So a two-door sedan with no storage is kind of odd. So when people were buying these new, it probably didn't make a lot of sense to buy something like that, because usually you're going to want to take your family with and have somewhere to put your stuff. There was an option to put like a box on the back and add on, but I think that's why these cars didn't sell that much. But I think it looks cool. It actually makes it kind of look almost like a sporty sedan, if you will. When you look at these things from the side, I always thought they were kind of neat. So another cool feature on these, if you guys aren't familiar with these, is the gas tank. The gas fill is actually coming out near the taillight there. So that's pretty cool if you haven't seen one of those before. It always catches people off guard. Otherwise, it still has the original spare tire mount. The headlight or the taillight stands are still there. They're just missing the glass. Original bumpers there. Pretty much everything's here on this thing. It's just got some dents and scratches here and there, but I can't believe how solid it is. Another thing, and we'll get a shot of it, all the glass in the car is still original Ford glass. It's got the Ford logo on it. It says Ford safety glass. And you think about it, at the time, that was something to brag about, that it had safety glass in it. So it's pretty cool to see that all the glass is original Ford. Some of it does have cracks in it. The front windshield's delaminating, but if I was to keep this car for a real long period of time, I would probably spend the time to find some replacement original glass to keep all the glass kind of matching. My plans for this car, really all it needs immediately is a good running drivetrain. So as I hinted at in the beginning, I got a spare 4041 flathead sitting. I have a couple of them, but I have one that's a good donor, I think, sitting in storage, and I brought it back here to the shop. That I'm going to try to get running with a spare top loader trans, put all that together, slide it into the car with the steering and everything, and we should be able to get this thing a runner and moving. The rear and the torque tube and everything are still in there. So in theory, once I get a running engine and trans in, this thing will be way far along. Then it's just doing some of the normal maintenance stuff. I've already added a different set of wheels and tires. It came with a set of black wall tires with some wheels somebody resanded and painted green, and I just wasn't really digging the look of that. So I had these spare ones that we actually were using on the Sweetheart Roadster. These tires really fit this body style really, really nice, so I think they're going to stay with this car. So if I get this thing running and driving somehow in my lack of free time, if I do get that done, just clean it up and just enjoy it. Lower it a little bit and just enjoy it. But in the meantime, it is for sale if somebody decides that they want the car. they want a project and they like 35s, I do have it for sale. You're going to be hard pressed to find a car as solid as this for a base, or something that's a patina queen like I call them, like this one is. So if you're interested, send me a message, leave a comment. Happy to talk to you more about it, but otherwise I'm going to be tinkering with it, and if we start doing some work on it, we'll make sure to shoot a little video and share it with you guys like you guys seem to like seeing. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching and learning about the Slantback. Talk to you guys later.